What's going on, champions? This is your boy Julien Stoutt, licensed personal trainer, licensed PE teacher, world record powerlifter, special education and health teacher, here to take the fear out of fitness. We're about to take off. Class is in session. Guys, I don't know if you could tell, but I am a huge fan of Stephen A. Smith. Huge fan. Even when he's wrong, I'm still a fan. I have his book, Straight Shooter, signed copy. I believe I'm number 1000 on the dot. Don't get me wrong. I'll go and get it later. But nonetheless, listening to his podcast here on YouTube, I actually am happy because somebody with a little bit more influence than me, needless to say, somebody that I truly admire and respect, somebody I think that is actually related to my family, not me personally, but family members of mine. I believe he actually is related. I would love to find out because I have a sneaky suspicion. My soul is telling me that he is related to family members of mine. But nonetheless, I do respect and admire the hard work and dedication and all the things that he has pulled himself through, or had help pulling himself through throughout his life. Some of his story mirrors mine in certain ways, and in other ways it does not. However, in one of the ways that it could mirror mine is not realizing that you're not in as good of shape that you thought you were in. Now, it didn't take me 25 years to correct that problem because truthfully, I actually did it on purpose. But needless to say, it still was a journey that I had to go on. And sometimes I still have to fight it myself. Because with all the hats that I have, all the hats that I put on, all the responsibilities that I have, all the things that I do, all the people that I try to help, young and old, it tends to get a little daunting on the physical end. Especially after having hip surgery 9 months ago. As a matter of fact, 9 months ago today. And with that being said, Stephen A. Smith decided to get on his podcast and share a bit of himself that, if you're a fan of his show, First Take, you have noticed that over the last 12 years, Stephen A. Smith was becoming more of himself, shall we say. And there are terminologies that he's going to use that any fitness professional would be using, to be honest. But he himself is admitting that he fell into this category. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is the exact notion that I'm trying to get people to understand. Because if you didn't know, he'll explain it in a minute, Stephen A. Smith had COVID a couple years ago, less than a couple years ago actually, and he was in and out of production over a period of time. I don't remember specifically how long he was in and out. I know he was out for a little while, like maybe about a couple weeks, but then he'll try to jump back in, and then all of a sudden he's gone again for a few days. Then he'll jump back in and say hello, kind of, or have a quick minor debate with somebody, and then be out for a while. Now we're coming to find out that Stephen A. Smith was ill. And not ill because he was from Holland's Queens, but ill because he actually was suffering from the effects of COVID. Now, one of the things that most people don't realize about this particular thing, Android 19, what you'll find out is that if you are morbidly obese, or touching near morbid obesity. Android 19 is coming for you, and it's coming with a vengeance. It's hard for you to overcome it. It could take you out. God forbid if you have any other ailments that come with it. The majority of the people that passed away, the majority, not all, that passed away from Android 19 were people who were morbidly obese and had underlying conditions. Stephen A. Smith was what we in the fitness community call skinny fat. I'm not casting any aspersions on him, to use one of his phrases. I am not trying to sneak diss him. I'm not clowning him, because you're going to see in a moment how real it is. All right? I want you guys to understand that what I do for a living and why I'm on this channel, why I do what I do on a day-to-day basis to help individuals become the best versions of themselves, is because I don't want people like Stephen A. Smith being a fond, distant memory at the age of 56 or 57, 58, 59. I believe personally everybody should at least live until they're 90, minimum. All right? Give them a chance to enjoy life. Let their bodies go through some things. And at the end of the day, they have seen more in their lifetimes than other people will have seen in theirs until they achieve the same status. But here we go. I'm going to play this video for you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen and I'm going to let it go.
Now let me get to this whole story. It's really not about Lenny Kravitz. It's about me. And there's a podcast called The Ultimate Human. And the person who does the podcast is a guy by the name of Mr. Gary Brecka. And he is affiliated and associated with 10X Health, the number 10, the letter X, Health. And I've had a lot going on in my life over the last year and a half plus. Some of it you know, some of it you don't. I don't talk about it much. I certainly don't lie about it, because I'm not lying to anybody about anything, because people ain't important enough to lie to be quite honest with you. I know how to tell people to fuck off or mind your damn business. I don't have to lie. But when it came to my health, although I believe it's a private matter, I was in pretty bad shape. And, you know, when I had COVID, a lot of people don't realize this. Prior to that, people used to tease me, some boxing video that was out there where some trainer was telling me I didn't have a torn rotator cuff. You just need to loosen your shoulders and all of this other stuff. I had not one, but two torn rotator cuffs. After surgeries to prove it. My left shoulder, I had a torn rotator cuff. Ultimately, my right shoulder, it was a torn rotator cuff, a torn bicep, torn labrum, and a bone spur. The operations took place at the Hospital for Special Surgery in New York. My doctor was a doctor by the name of Riley Williams. Okay? So imagine having those problems and then turning around and in the immediate aftermath of that, having COVID. That's what I had going on. If you go to watch the Ultimate Human podcast and you listen to my lengthy interview with Gary Brecka, you will see a photo of me. That photo of me is standing sideways, skinny fat, looking absolutely disgusting. Hell, I looked pregnant. And guess what? I'm not laughing. I'm telling you what I know. It was that bad. I'm looking at my phone now to find the photo.
I just shared
to
that
show
photo
it to
with
you.
Guys.
But once again, you can go to his podcast to see, because one of the things I don't hesitate to do, I don't mind giving anybody love. If they deserve it, they deserve it. I'm only looking down because I'm trying to find the photo for you in my phone so I can show it to you, because it was that damn bad just less than 2 years ago. actually less than a year ago. And I was on a mission to change it. When I think about people who love me, when I think about the woman in my life, I look at my photo, I'm like, damn, she really did love me. I was in pretty damn bad shape. I know that I would not have wanted me looking like that. I can tell you that much. I wouldn't have wanted somebody looking like that, looking like how I was looking. But it was really, really, really that bad. And so I was on a mission to change my life. And what you've been seeing as a product of my life has taken place over the last 9 months. This is me.
What you're seeing is that part
That
right now
was
that
me.
you're looking at.
Less than 10 months ago.
That video, the picture I showed
Everybody that looks at me now, I can do it for you as we speak. I can take off my shirt so you can see. If you're looking at, this is me right here. Now look at me turn sideways. That's how I am now. In the last 10 months, put my jacket on, because I'm not comfortable with my shirt on. Not comfortable. Hold on for a second. In the last 10 months, I've lost 35 pounds. Increased my muscle, my body mass, stuff like that. I had a cholesterol level over 300. It's now down below 200. I had insulin levels at 27 because my blood was swimming in sugar. It's now at 2. I had body fat that was at 29.6%. It's now 12.8%. And I'm 56 years old. Now you can laugh all you want to, but I think it's safe to say for anybody laughing, the person that has the last laugh is me. Here's the thing. It ain't funny. I was close to death. When I had pneumonia, when I had COVID, I had double pneumonia. They say when you see a white spot in your lungs, that's pneumonia. My x-rays was covered in white. It looked like cloudy skies. It looked like you're in a plane in the sky and you're going through the clouds and you see nothing but white. That was what happened to me. I was in really bad shape. No focus. I would be on TV at times and you get distracted and you almost get to a point where you can't hear. You're damn near feeling like you're having a mini stroke because everything goes to black for a few seconds. The fatigue was persistent. And for almost a year, I could not run up the steps. True story, Michaels. True story, Ray. I could not run up the steps in my house without huffing and puffing. That's how serious it was. I couldn't get on a treadmill and run at all for more than 60 seconds. I couldn't walk for more than 10 minutes. And somehow, some way, I was determined and focused. Don't get me started with how I was sexually or anything. I don't even want to talk about it. I don't even want to talk about it. I don't even want to talk about it. Life is hell when you are in bad physical shape in terms of your stamina, your cardio, and all things in between. It's bad. It's bad, y'all.
All right. This right here is someone who is on that fence, admitting to you how bad it got. So to the people out there in, politically correct land, for those people who think it's just okay to be that way, for those people who say leave people alone because this, that, the other, no. There's a right way to do this. There's a right way to get at somebody about their health. There's a right way to challenge somebody to get off the pot and get right. But What I won't ever do is stand back and go idly by and just let people die right in front of me. Now, don't get me wrong. It is not my place to literally tell somebody, hey, you're fat. It's not how it works. You let them know what you're capable of in the sense of, hey, I'm a personal trainer. You know that, right? Hey, just giving you a heads up. Anytime you want, let me know. That's all. It's what I do. Not going to beat you over the head with it, but at the same time, I'm letting you know. And when you realize, when you truly, truly realize, and you finally drop your restraints, when you finally let go of that pride, when you finally wash away the sinfulness of your pride, you come find me. Or another trainer, it doesn't matter. I'm good. I'm good with you finding a trainer, competent, mind you, a competent one, but a trainer. That is the one thing that I want for everybody, is to find their trainer, whoever it is, whether it's me or not, don't care. Would like to have you, but I don't care if you find someone else. As long as they're competent, as long as they get you to where you want to go, and as long as the end result is you being healthy, not skinny. And competency for your trainer is knowing that. If your trainer is trying to get you under a certain level of BMI, fire them immediately. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Fire them. Now, if it just so happens that you're physically like that your BMI matches up with your physicality, by all means, do so. But if you see that that's how they're measuring you, full stop, they're not checking your body fat percentage in relation to your weight, they're not checking your muscle mass in relation to your weight, fire them. Find another trainer. Again, doesn't have to be me, because I know of plenty competent trainers that knows exactly what it is that I know. All right? And in some cases, a little bit more. Not very many of them, but some cases a little bit more. Here's the deal. Stephen A. Smith is a millionaire. Tens of times over. We know that much. We don't know how much, but we know that much. And as much as he works and as hard as he works, I'm sure he plays just as hard. And the sad part is, even he fell victim. What do you think you're doing? Do you think you got it going on like that you could just whatever? This man is at the studio, or at least in meetings, at 6 o'clock in the morning. He's on the air at 10. He goes until 12. And then I'm sure he has other post-show meetings that probably run until 1 or 2. Then after that, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, he's doing this. He's doing this podcast on YouTube. And if he's not, he at least did his due diligence and pre-recorded one before he got on the air, or before he left to go do other projects like General Hospital, like another ESPN show, like NBA Countdown, pregame, halftime, and postgame. And then still gets up in the morning and does First Take. Well, especially when he gets to the production meetings. Since he's an executive producer, he should be at the production meeting. He does all of this and still finds the time to exercise, still finds the time to eat properly, still finds the time to take care of himself. Now, here's the funny part. I'm calling me out. Full stop. I'm not even going to kid you. I'm calling me out. Since he called himself out, I'm going to call me out. What I'm doing is I would Wake up, take my shower, brush my teeth, brush my hair, put my clothes on. Well, take my shower and put my clothes on. Get out the house, drive to work, receive children, make sure they do their some semblance of work during the first period. Let them go, get planned up for later on that afternoon. Go observe some children in their natural habitat. Write that up. Clean up any messes my children make. Bring them back to normal. Bring them back to some semblance of normal. Go to lunch. If I go to lunch, sometimes I bring it with me. Come back or run errands. Come back. Once I do that, it is showtime. I'm either in the classroom helping kids with their English, language arts work, or I'm putting out other fires. Once I do that, I teach my kids skills that they need to know in order to develop and become well-adjusted adults, just like any other child. And then I leave, or I have clubs that I allow children to participate in, and then I leave. Or I'm tutoring, and then I leave. Then I go and I hopefully have enough time to squeeze a 45-minute workout in. And then I train my clients, 2 of them at minimum. And then I drag myself home or drag myself to the gas station and get gas, then go home, where depending on the nature of how tired I am at that point, I'll then make dinner. Maybe. And then rinse, wash, and repeat. Get showered, get ready for bed, and start the whole process all over again. Well, guess what? I'm not taking very good care of myself. I'm not. And part of the reason why is because I'm not getting enough sleep. Also, I'm not getting up in enough time to actually challenge my body. Not the way I would like to, not the way I used to. I don't know how many of my former Army buddies watch my channel, but if they do, they will tell you I was a monster. Not in size, not in stature, but in ability. I was a monster. I was fast, I was durable, I was strong. Still strong. Very strong now. But nonetheless, now all of a sudden, it's not that I'm that bad as Stephen A. Smith where I can't run for only 60 seconds, or I could only walk for 10 minutes. No, but I am well below the standard that I had set for myself at one point. But the funny thing is, some of it is on purpose because I am trying to balance keeping my body fat percentage low while increasing my muscle mass and improving my strength. All the while staying in the pocket of 155 pounds or less. That's the hard part. But I sat down with myself before this video came out, mind you, and decided that it's time for me to start taking my nutrition and my training a little bit more seriously. Yes, I've been rehabbing and doing all the things that I need to do to build myself up, but it's not enough. I need to do more. And what Stephen A. Smith is challenging us all to do is do more, because you don't have that luxury of time. Because he was knocking on death's door, and he's not kidding. They were basically telling him, if you don't, I'm paraphrasing him here, if you want to watch, go ahead and watch this entire episode. It's called Nia Long, Jeezy, LeBron, Kelsey, Sexiest Man Alive, the 39-year-old virgin episode, which just came out, I believe, Wednesday. So he will tell you, they told him, if this steroid combination does not work, get your affairs in order, because you ain't gonna make it. And I'm sure to tell you, once he realized that it's his health that is compounding his issue with COVID, that's the time he decided that it's time for him to wake up and get a cranial rectalotomy. For those of y'all who don't know what that means get your head out of your ass. Definitely. And he did. As you can see, like he said, he lost 35 pounds. He went from 29.6% body fat, which is 0.4% close to the threshold of full onset clinical obesity. Technically, he is obese at that point. Not, again, no disrespect. But the finite numeral value is 30%. Well, actually, no, correction, 25%. My bad. So he was morbidly obese at 29.6. Almost 5% more closer over obesity than he was anything else. And like he said, he was skinny fat, because it wasn't like, oh, he was just arms are flapping and all this other stuff. He just had a gut. Like he said, he looked like he was pregnant. But guess what? He got his affairs in order. He found the trainer that originally he had but would actively avoid him. And then he got real. And in 10 months, he lost 35 pounds. That's 3.5 pounds per month. It's not bad, especially when he's oscillating between gaining muscle and burning fat. That's not bad at all. If it was all about weight loss, he could have dropped 8 pounds a month for the next 4 months, but that's not healthy, because again, like I've told you numerous of times, if you're all about losing weight, if you lose muscle, you're moving yourself closer to diabetes as opposed to moving yourself away from it. The less muscle you have, the closer to diabetes you are. HDL's in the toilet, LDL's in the rise. Like he said, he was over 300 on his cholesterol. And like he said, his HDL's was low. LDL's was high. Now he's under 200. You need a 0.5 ratio of HDLs to your LDLs in order for it to balance. So, with all due respect, shout out to Stephen A. Smith. All respect to you. And may you see an additional several decades more of your life. And hopefully you'll be making more of an impact, not only on your show First Take, but also here on YouTube, influencing other people to be the best versions of yourselves, like yours truly. Okay? So I'm going to land this plane now, because I don't want to keep this too long, because I actually got to take care of myself. Guys, you can't afford to keep kicking the ball or kicking the can down the road, because if you keep kicking that can down the road, you might mess around and kick a bucket. And that's what Stephen A. Smith is trying to tell you. Stop kicking the can down the road, or you might just kick a bucket. Get yourself a method, find a line of attack, and get with the program, so that you can be the best you. Guys, if you like what you heard, if you follow me up until this point, go ahead and click the like button. If you didn't like what you heard, go ahead and click the dislike button. I'm good either way. However, if you've made it this far, click the all notifications button. When you subscribe, so that you can get every bit of information that I put out Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and on YouTube. Have a nice day. Be the best you. Class of Stoutt.